Hello and welcome to GrindslimeTV with me, your host Aaron. And today we're heading over to Spain. Oh yeah, gonna go check out some of that bestial black metal style kind of thing they got going on over there. Yeah, you love it, I love it. We are talking, of course, about Proclamation, in particular their album Advent of the Black Omen. Absolutely banging record. This was their debut album from 2006. They've got 3 other albums that have come out obviously since then. I own all of them, of course. They've all got this really cool kind of themed artwork, like they all have this kind of a sort of look to them. And I'll show them on camera as we go along. We can sort of savor them together. Oh yes. And but yeah, I just like how this. You immediately look at that sort of aesthetic, and you know you've got a very unholy like metal record. It's just nothing screams metal more than that, really, does it? You know, so really cool aesthetic there. And I believe the guitar and vocalist Usurper, I believe he did the artwork for all of these records too, which is pretty cool indeed. Now got that gatefold action, as you can see going on there. Look, yeah, channeling their inner Blasphemy as they do on the back as well. Got fire breathing, we've got, you know, graveyard monument posing, and who knows what else. But also their influence of Blasphemy really comes through in the sound as well. Now this is definitely Blasphemy worship, but I wouldn't call it a clone, because you can also hear stuff in there like early Behexen, Beherit, and you know, or maybe Behexen, who knows. But you know, very, very cool stuff. You know, there's some sort of Conqueror in there as well, but for the most part, it's very, very sort of Blasphemy sounding, but in a great way. Like, it's not like ripping off any of their riffs or anything like that. It just definitely has that sort of signature aggression that Blasphemy put forth, you know. So these guys picked that up really well and turned it into their own thing, which I think is really, really cool. Definitely more on the noisier side of things, whereas regardless of what other YouTubers might say, Blasphemy do have some very catchy riffs. There ain't none on here. Okay, this is very aggressive. Okay, we're talking unholy as folk. I mean, some even I'd use the word brutal, to be honest with you. I don't think that's something that should just be reserved for a subgenre of death metal. You know, this is a brutal record by all counts, in my opinion. You know, it's like brutal black metal. So no, really cool stuff. Take a couple of listens, like I say, you know, to sort of really get into it. But if you know what you're getting into, you know, you're not going to be humming this at tea time, you know what I mean? So, but once you sort of get into the swing of things, you pick up on what they're sort of doing, you can really appreciate it. And just, it's one of those really great ones that you can either like stick in the headphones and just have a good old, you know, like a little private fucking killing spree in your head. Or you can just shove it on in the background and it just sets the mood for whatever you're doing, whether you're just chilling on your own, doing a bit of gaming or reading, or if you're just fucking, you got people around and you're having a game night or something, just whatever, throw that bad boy on. People know it's a serious party, very serious. I recommend all 4 of their albums as well. They've also got a demo recording, and I don't actually have that. I have heard it a couple of times. And usually I am a demos guy, as you know, quite rightly know. But when it comes to Proclamation, just these 4 records for me is fine. You know, the demo is just, I don't know, too raw maybe. I don't know, something like that. Or just, not even just raw, it's just not a very good recording, I don't think. But I could be wrong. I could go back to it and say, well, you know, what the fuck was I talking about? But, you know, times change. But when I last heard it, which wasn't that long ago, I was like, I'd rather just listen to the albums, to be honest. You get your cool little thing going on there. There they are, look, in the graveyard again, having a fun time, loitering, I might add. And then you've got your lyrics and whatnot, your cheers, thanks and fuck offs at the bottom, which is always nice. And then, yeah, that's pretty much the record itself. We've got to look at the record itself, haven't we? We always got to do that. Let's have a little get out of here, you little bastard. And of course, perfectly for a release like this, boom, black. You couldn't have this on coloured vinyl, in my opinion. Just, it demands black. If someone said, like, oh yeah, like a picture disc, maybe, with that on it, absolutely. I could get behind that, 100%. But if they were like, oh yeah, we're putting them out in, like, red or lime green or some fucking stupid shit like that, you're doing, you know? Again, the time and the place, damn it. Time and a place. Well, yeah, that is it for that release. That release, you say? Yes! I've also added a last-minute addition, as it was brought up in the comments just within the last couple of hours, I think. A few hours. I don't know. Time flies around here. And that is, of course, a split between two more Brazilian bands. And seeing as we're on a bit of a gore grind kick lately, let's not break the habit. We're, of course, talking about, once again, Lymphatic Phlegm. They're split. With what is this called? Late Pathological Findings Part 2, which is cool because this is a live studio recordings, so they sound double brutal. Really cool stuff. And there's 6 tracks from each band. I'll get to the other one in a second, don't worry. I did notice, I sort of glossed over that a little bit. But, 6 tracks from each band. The Lymphatic Phlegm ones are untitled, but they're all bangers. And the track 3 in particular is a really fun one because it's got this really sort of major scale kind of happy riff going on. It's like really upbeat and stuff. It's just so alien, but it works so well. And Lymphatic Phlegm have been known to do that a few times on their albums. They'll have like a sort of jolly riff going on, and it's cool. I like it. It adds a whole new mood to it. Great stuff. So not much to say about that one really, but let's move on to the particularly since we gave Lymphatic Phlegm a video yesterday. So we'll go to the other band, and that is Pancreatite Necrohemorrhagica, who our lad in the comments brought up. Is it Ross? Oh, I'm terrible with names. I keep trying to remember all the main fans, so, Nate, Mika, Smithy, Brendan. I think it's Ross. Could be wrong. Correct me though. If Rob as well. There's a Rob out there. I've noticed he pops up every now and then. But yeah, and this is their EP. Bear with me. Gastrointestinal stromal tumors. The text is kind of weird, but yeah, really cool stuff from them too. But got the inside there. Look, you got that side. You got the Lymphatic Phlegm side. Oh yes. But yeah, the thing about these guys is they've got they're undoubtedly a gore grind band. Their 6 songs have actually got titles as well. But they're a 4-piece, so they got the whole thing going on. No drum machine for these guys. That nice pingy snare that you kids all love, and I love a pingy snare myself. Don't get me wrong. If you want to hear a very strange snare, which at first is like, oh, that's horrible, but after a while oddly grows on you, check out a band called Killdozer. Was it Killdozer? No, Goredozer. I think it was called. Hold on. We'll get to the bottom of this right now. But they got a hell of a snare. That's, if I remember rightly, it's one of the boys from Haggis. I could be wrong. But let's have a look here. See, I'll put all this stuff in alphabetical order. You think I'd find it faster? Nope. Yeah, it is, yeah. Goredozer, Biological Extinction. Yeah. Go whack that up on the old YouTube and listen to that snare. Oh, that's a whole other level of snare sounds that can go crazy. Let's have a little look at the thing here. But like I say, they're undeniably a gore grind band, but they definitely have some sort of like slam influence in there. Like the opening riff on their side is kind of generic-y and slammy sounding. It's like, I remember when I first listened to it, I was, oh, don't know if I'm going to be into this. But once that riff's over, it just goes into this straight up really cool sort of ultra fast, gore grindy, grindcore kind of style. But though pitch shifters do make an appearance, they tend to favour the pig squeal a lot more. So bear that in mind when you go in and listen to them. But no, very cool band. I really like them. I think this is the only thing I've got of theirs, but I brought it on here anyway because our boy brought it up. And I mentioned I had this, so I thought that would make bloody stuff put up on my screen. I thought that would make for a good little addition to today's video, seeing as I've got it handy. So yeah, support the underground, do your thing, catch you later.